Imagine you see a woman from across the room and catch her gazing your way. Her eyes linger just a little too long before darting away bashfully. Was that a smirk playing at the corner of her mouth? Your heart rate quickens as you wonder, could she actually be interested? Then you notice the ring glistening on her finger. She's a married woman. Surely you must be misreading the vibe, right? While affairs spell devastation for all involved, sometimes the longing for illicit passion overrides rationale. As men, we must stay vigilant to avoid getting roped into hurtful entanglements blindly. In this insightful video, I'll reveal the top 4 telltale signs a married woman desires more than just friendship with you. Consider it your cheat sheet for spotting a potential homewrecker before she rocks your world. You'll learn the subtle yet undeniable signal she wants you, from the way she communicates to the game she plays. We'll decode her tactics to trap you and fulfill her deepest cravings behind her husband's back. And beyond the obvious signs, I'll shed light on the psychological turmoil that drives philandering wives to start down this treacherous path. Why would someone jeopardize their sacred marital vows? We'll unravel the web of common motivations. Heads up, the truth gets steamier than a housewives' reunion. But forewarned is forearmed, gents. Recognizing these red flags could save you a world of heartache and fallout down the road. So brace yourself as we peel back the curtain on one of society's darkest taboos and most rampant marital pitfalls. After this video, you'll never look at a married woman the same way again, which could be the greatest gift of all. Hit that subscribe button and buckle up. It's time to expose the married woman's desire. Sign number 1. She always responds to you quickly. One of the biggest giveaways a married woman is intrigued is if she consistently messages or responds back to you very quickly. For women interested in someone, fast communication is a no-brainer. They prioritize giving prompt replies to shine favorably and keep your attention. Compare this to when you're casually chatting with a female friend or acquaintance. Response times are often slower and conversations consistently trail off. But when a spark exists, women instinctively want to keep the momentum going and frequently connect. This penchant for rapid response time is even more pronounced for married women affair prospecting. With a husband in the picture competing for her attention, quick communication underscores her enthusiasm about you. She steals moments to respond from the bathroom or after her husband falls asleep, lest he catches wise. Now, that's not to say all fast responders have ulterior motives. Some people are just chronic rapid repliers by default. But if a married woman you know typically responds slowly, then suddenly starts texting back lightning fast, it likely means you're more than a platonic pal. Take it as a sign she craves more intimate exchange. Sign number 2. She gets on your wavelength. Here's another glaring clue. When a married woman vies for your affections, she naturally tries aligning with you mentally and emotionally. Call it syncing up or getting on your wavelength. She matches your energy and reciprocates interest. This might manifest as playful banter becoming increasingly flirty over time. Sexual innuendos are volleyed back and forth. The tone shifts from friendly to something more. She also begins opening up about frustrations in her marriage, lack of intimacy, fights with her husband, etc. This has a dual purpose, justifying her actions by vilifying her spouse and also signaling she's ripe for a new romance. Essentially, she's conveying, my needs aren't being met. I'm incompatible with my husband. The door is wide open here. So anytime a married woman mimics your vibes and seems to move in tandem onto your romantic/sexual frequency, recognize she's enticed. Tread carefully, as affairs often start gradually with innocent banter snowballing into improper emotional and physical entanglements. Sign number 3. She compliments you frequently. We all love receiving genuine praise and appreciation. But when compliments come rolling in from a married woman outside your family, it often telegraphs ulterior attraction. Why? Because it feels good to stroke someone's ego when you desire them. These ego boosts are especially common once rapport has been established. She flatters your appearance, talents, sense of humor, or other attributes. Sometimes praise comes through comparisons like, "You're so much more charming than my husband," or backhanded compliments like, "How are you still single?" Either way, lavishing praise feels like a socially acceptable way to convey her admiration. It's not as blunt as saying she's into you, but makes it implicitly clear she thinks highly of you. And from an emotional perspective, focusing compliments on you tightens your bond while simultaneously distancing her from her spouse in her mind. This mental framing opens the door for justifying infidelity. So while we all enjoy an occasional confidence boost, a frequent influx likely signals she cares about you as more than a friend. Sign number 4. She finds excuses to see you. This is the most overt sign a married woman seeks extracurricular activities. She actively invents reasons to be around you more. Any excuse to spend time together or bump into each other becomes fair game. Maybe she suddenly takes interest in a hobby you enjoy, or casually name drops places she'll be so you randomly run into each other. If you get a promotion at work, she wants to take you out for lunch to celebrate. Her flimsy excuses eventually give way to overt statements like, "We should grab dinner together this Friday. No plus once." Or she insists you help redecorate her bedroom because you have such good taste. Basically, she makes it abundantly clear she desires alone time. Here, her attraction overrides any rational hesitation. With enough desire, people can talk themselves into anything. She may convince herself it's just an innocent meetup between platonic pals, then oops, one thing led to another. The biggest takeaway when a married woman moves mountains to integrate you into her life? You're likely leading each other down a path of mutually assured destruction. Affairs that start through friendship tend to blindside the people involved, so extra vigilance is required. The underlying psychology explained. Now that we've covered the 4 most common signs, let's explore what typically drives married women to pursue affairs and betray their spouses. Understanding the psychology can help prevent crossing lines. She feels neglected or unappreciated. One of the foremost reasons women entertain infidelity is feeling starved for affection and affirmation in their marriages. Over time, routine dulls passion and romance, giving way to stable yet boring partnership. When needs go chronically unmet by a spouse, it generates resentment and temptation to have those needs satisfied elsewhere. A new prospective mate reactivates the excitement of courtship and being cherished. An affair allows escape from mundane family life into a fantasy world. For a while, marital problems fade as she becomes consumed with you. Eventually, reality sets back in, but the high feels worth it. She craves revenge or retribution. In other cases, a woman seeks infidelity to get back at an unfaithful spouse. Discovering her husband's affair causes intense heartbreak, humiliation, and jealousy. Having her own fling provides a sense of vindication and restoring power. "I'll show him what it feels like," she convinces herself. It's a misguided attempt to communicate the hurt he's caused and force sympathy. Of course, this usually backfires by breeding more acrimony, distrust, and violence. But in her rage, getting even may eclipse rationality. She fails to recognize sinking to his level won't ameliorate the situation. She's going through a midlife crisis. During middle age, authenticity and meaning often get reevaluated. Existential thoughts like, "Is this all there is?" or "Did I marry the right person?" creep in. When the future seems bleaker than the past, an affair can represent starting life anew. Like a second adolescence, the thrill of romance revitalizes her spirit. She convinces herself this is who she was meant to be with all along. However, these feelings are usually transient. Once the affair becomes routine or consequences manifest, the fantasy crumbles. But the prospect of recapturing you through an exciting fling is tempting. She has poor self-esteem. Lastly, some women believe they simply don't deserve better treatment from men. They have trouble setting boundaries and voicing needs in their marriage. When unhappy, instead of asserting themselves, they seek love through other unhealthy means. They believe they must take whatever male attention comes their way, even if inappropriate. So being pursued empowers them and temporarily helps them feel desirable or worthwhile. It's a misguided coping mechanism stemming from internalized feelings of inadequacy. Should you get involved with a married woman? If a married woman displays interest in you, consider the following before proceeding. Remember, infidelity often stems from unresolved personal issues or underlying marital dysfunction. An affair is unlikely to fix the core problem and frequently exacerbates it. Consider if this relationship is truly born from a foundation of love or thrill-seeking and escapism. Lasting fulfillment usually requires doing the hard inner work, not glossing over wounds and trauma. Reflect on your motives as well. Your desire for connection may also come from an unhealthy place of ego, lust, or boredom. Be honest about whether this affair serves your higher self. Consider the impact on innocent parties. Her husband and children will suffer greatly, as will extended family and friends. An affair has far-reaching consequences beyond just the spouses involved. Consider your own conscience. Infidelity violates most moral codes of ethics. Are you willing to bear the spiritual consequences of being complicit in deceit and betrayal? How might this impact your self-worth? While attraction and temptation are natural, we all have free will to act with wisdom and integrity. Truly evaluate if this relationship is coming from a righteous place that serves the well-being of all. More often than not, it's better to nip things in the bud early on before lives are shattered. To sum up, the 4 most telltale signs a married woman desires you romantically or sexually are: 1. She prioritizes responding very quickly to your messages. 2. She gets on your wavelength and matches your vibe. 3. She compliments and flatters you frequently. 4. She engineers reasons and excuses to see you more. While these signals may seem perfectly innocent at first, together they usually indicate she's enticed and contemplating betrayal. Tread cautiously in these situations, as affairs can obliterate families. Before wading into dangerous territory, dig deeper into her motives and your own. Make sure this relationship stems from genuine care, not temporary escapism that will ultimately cause more harm than good. Focus on uplifting others through integrity. Infidelity is often a symptom of personal dissatisfaction or dysfunction. Instead of band-aids in the form of affairs, encourage finding healthy resolutions that consider everyone's well-being. With wisdom and compassion, we can avoid hurtful mistakes and live lives of purpose. If you enjoyed this video, show some love by hitting that like button. We always appreciate your feedback, so let us know your biggest takeaways in the comments. If you know someone who would benefit from this advice, feel free to pass it along. And if you'd like to show your support for our channel, you can use the Super Thanks feature down below. Your support means the world to us. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Stay tuned for more coming your way soon. Until next time.